I've been privileged to coach, mentor active duty Army, Marines, Air Force, Navy. We've had 2 active duty guys, one in the Navy and one in the Air Force, that are rolling up as we speak. We've got a Ranger in the field, in deployment, rolling up, dodging bullets. And then we got you. I was privileged to speak at the Naval Academy. And the front row, 6 or 7 really cute girls. And I said, ladies, why do they call you midshipmen? And they look up at the commandant of the school who's sitting up there. Ask him. And he says, he bellows down, tradition. Well, you have the tradition in your life of your family of know nothing. So you're living up to the tradition. I've had the privilege, Navy SEALs, Special Ops, Green Beret, Army Rangers, fighter pilots, as they're transitioning from military life to civilian life. I had a day with them. But they picked me, not the other guys. And I'm proud of, there's a Marine guy who's a guard down there keeping illegal aliens from coming in to America. And he got that license plate. When I tried to get the license plate, I couldn't get it, but he got it. Now, 2 things have changed. Interest rates are no longer at 5,000-year low. For those of you meatheads, I've told you for 4 years, but you did nothing. So now, and I told you then, if interest rates go up 300 to 500 basis points, I've said this 1,000 times, that means 3 to 5 points. It changes our model. You did nothing. You did not a cock fucking thing, and now you're going to blame QLA because you can't do anything now. It doesn't kill the model, it just makes it more stringent. For example, if interest rates are currently 5%, which they're not, if interest rates go to 15%, the deals have to be 3 times better. Does everybody understand that? Because the commercial debt is 3 times more expensive. So now interest rates are only at a 3,800-year low, not 5,000 years. Which makes the motivated seller even more afraid. It's hard to believe anybody's more afraid than this audience, but more afraid. Because you're giving them a succession plan. You're giving them a fucking way out. I want you to go out and snort that shit up. Some of the women look like this, but, speaking of that, in 1962, my cousin Ronnie went to Lincoln High School, rough-ass school, in the hood, and some guy had said that his girlfriend's ass looked like 2 pigs in a gunny sack. Understand the visual on that? My cousin Ronnie stabbed the guy 17 times. I'm going to get around to Will Smith, who slapped that guy in a minute. That's what you did back in the day. By the grace of God, Ronnie wasn't worth a shit with a knife, and the guy lived. I don't know how you can stab a guy in the chest 17 fucking times. But anyway, praise God. Now, Will Smith slapped the comic guy. Now, we have a test on our test, one of those tests that you haven't taken or you failed. What would you do if somebody spit in your wife's face? Almost all of you say, I would try to ascertain where he was in his mind on that day. Was he having a bad day? That's your answer. That's your fucking answer. Now, I know my answer. I would kill his goldfish and the DNA of that family would be evaporated from the planet. I'd go to jail. Will didn't do the smartest thing, slapping the guy on national TV with 25 million people watching. But he could have certainly fucked him up later. Certainly. And I would have been the one, rearrange his knee or done something. I'm not promoting that you do that in any way, shape, manner, or form. But I know what that mentality. And Will's from the hood of West Philadelphia. That's the first thing I've seen done with balls on TV. I won't say ever, but almost ever. And look at all the shit he got. Like he was inhuman. I thought it showed that he was human. And I don't know if this is factual. And he's not getting around. Now, they don't call wives old ladies anymore. But he's not getting along with his old lady on top of it all. That's where we are. Money's dirty. Money's the root of all evil. Money is not important. Boy, that's nuts. Money makes you a bad person. Money blinds you from the truth. Money makes you greedy. Other values are more important. It's no wonder it's so hard to make, as my Jewish neighbor used to say, a shekel or two. You know, it's no wonder. If you're not surrounding yourself with people on the same mission, you're going to fail. Back in my day, that's who we hung around with. I did. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. We've said that. Association is power. You hang out with monkeys, your life becomes a circus. And that's including your family. I have a mentee very successful in London. Back in the brick phone, you know, the old cell phones that are like bricks. And one of the things we used to show him is how to program your phone so you could get rid of all the people you don't want to deal with anymore. And so I saw him a couple of years later. He's walking down in London. I said, how are things going? And he says, well, and the message you leave on your phone, if you don't have my new phone number, you're not part of my new life. That was the message. He says, it went well until my mother got the message. Because his mother was his main problem. If you got off of social media, you erased everybody out of your phone book. Is that the right phone? Well, you know what I mean. Erase all the numbers. You'd be better off. Success is like being pregnant. Everyone says congratulations, but nobody knows how many times you got fucked. You're born limitless, limiting beliefs, releasing, not gaining emotional baggage. What learned can be unlearned, really important. Stay aware of limiting beliefs of others. Get in touch with your emotions. Get mentors. They want the same thing in life that have already done it 15, 20, 25 years before. Men, what the fuck happened? I mean, what the fuck happened? As the Pope said, totus tuus, it's all yours now. Pope John the 26th. It's the end of the seminar, but the start of your new life. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Peña. I am above 21, and this may sound annoying to you, but last time I came up here...
I remember you're going to be a trillionaire. I remember.
Yes. Well, last time I came up here, I whispered my dream. That was a mistake, and I'm here to very briefly, in less than 13 seconds, do better this time.
Good.
My name is Arthur Day, and I'm going to be a trillionaire. Save the world and go balls to the fucking wall. And when I make a mistake or get kicked out of my ass, I'll get up again and get up again, and I'll never give up. Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay. Next.
Tough act to follow. Jonathan Taylor, 13 years military, doing shit I can't tell people in this room. I own companies all across the U.S., tens of millions of dollars.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you know? Briefly touch on taking over a public company to use as my shell for being my vehicle to conduct further acquisitions.
You're talking about taking a shell company that's allegedly clean, already been public, and putting your assets into it.
That's correct.
That's a poor man's way to, that's a poor man's recipe for disaster. They're never clean. My experience is there's almost always a problem with them. Although I know why you do it, because it's a lot cheaper than going public. But if you got so much fucking money, just go public.
Got it.
Okay? Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for influencing me and others around me. Appreciate you coming here today. So, very simple question. As far as building your quantum leaps in life, your partner you choose, how important it is to get them on board,
Correct.
and your first acquisition. If I was to start today, let's say an 80 IQ.
Well, I mean, I'm not in the chairmanship business anymore, but I can tell you countless horror stories of the kids, and I normally read them, the emails at the seminars, where they picked the wrong guy, they picked the wrong gal. I'll give you an example. Let's say, where are you from?
Originally Pakistan,
No, but I mean now.
Virginia.
Okay, you're walking down the high street, and you see your chairman, your CEO, and your CFO sitting in Starbucks together. Your first action should be walk in and fire them all. But that won't be your first action. Because what'll rattle through your little pea brains, it took me all this fucking time to get these people, to recruit them. And, I mean, it'll take me forever. I mean, the most important person that you're going to recruit is your chairman. Not just because he's got 30 years experience, not just because he's done dozens or even hundreds of deals, because he'll, you know, you kids always use, I've got his back. I've got your six. You don't even know what the fuck that means. But one that really does have your back. And that will stand in the breach when the other guys are going to do a mutiny on you. That's what the chairman's really for, you know. And then you only bring in, they'll pull out the old dog not too often. You know, you have your younger, normally, less experienced board members. But, I mean, we've had people get, I mean, people that you wouldn't believe that they're in the notoriety. But anybody on LinkedIn, or not anybody, almost everybody on LinkedIn is broke. Just remember that. Almost everybody on LinkedIn is broke. Some aren't as broke as you, but they're broke. So anybody that's on LinkedIn, and that's the best tool that I have been telling people to use for decades, and there's 4 or 5 of you that are my mentees in here that have used LinkedIn successfully. But I still, right now, healthcare is still the hottest. Doesn't matter. Interest rates have gone up a little because they have no alternative. Did I answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
God
You're
bless,
welcome.
thank you.
Next.
Hi, Mr. Peña. Thank you so much for all you have done. And
Okay.
you really, truly changed my life. And I cut off most of the people from my life and changed phone numbers and did everything you have done.
Okay.
And that had a tremendous effect. So my question to you is, I know you started the talk with saying default is a bitch, and I truly agree with that. So when you cut off everybody, you're all alone fighting this war. How do you not fall into the default?
Well, I mean, with great difficulty. It's not easy. I moved 7,000 miles because I knew, being Hispanic, being part of the familia and having horse shit every weekend, and, you know, I mean, I knew that it was, and I was already successful. I knew I wouldn't be able to do it without leaving. I mean, some of my family still say I copped out, or that's not the right word, but I mean, it's, you either want to be thought well of by your grandmother or not. That's kind of the bottom line. Your grandmother will not understand. Your parents will not understand. Your significant other won't understand. But there's too many diversions now, especially with the internet. You know, information is almost instantaneous. Some would argue it is instantaneous. But those are all diversions. And those are all diversions that will not allow you to fulfill your own dreams. One of the words that didn't resonate that well in the universities, if I had one word to tell the university kids, be more selfish. And it's the opposite of how we're raised. You know, Johnny doesn't have any to fuck Johnny. I mean, he should have had better, richer parents. You know? I mean, you got to be more selfish. You got to think of yourself. And believe me, nobody loves Elon Musk more than Elon. Nobody loves Dan Peña more than Dan. You know? You got to be more selfish. But there's going to be collateral damage. You know, that old bullshit analogy, you know, you got to have broken eggs in an omelet. That's all horse shit. You know, when it happens to you and it's 100%, I mean, and you feel that pain, but this is a painful process. Dr. Robinson alluded to it, and I saw the pain. I lived with the pain. But John was nice. Nice is not the operative word, but towards that end of the continuum. He's a fucking doctor, right? He's, you know, care for people and shit like that. I'm not making light of care for people and shit like that. But I mean, he felt for the other side. I've never felt for the other side of my life. Never. So, I mean, but it's with great difficulty. I'm not telling you it's easy. If it were easy, we would have had $100 trillion by now instead of 2.3 trillion. If it were easy, but it's not easy. It's bloody hard. And those that are by themselves with no family, no kids, no wife, it's easiest. If you have the grit to be alone. I was fortunate, like I say, the great things that happened to me were Sally, 3 kids, and motherfucking Corona. I said 2.5 years ago, Corona's going to be with us the rest of our natural fucking lives. So let's make hay. Let's make hay. So, I mean, it's with great difficulty. There's no magic. But the 2 books, and I tell people that they can read, Tough-Minded Management and Tough-Minded Leadership by Joe Batten, B-A-T-T-A-N, who was the mentor of Ross Perot before most of your time. But it's basically tough love, and it tells you how to, if you follow the steps. If you don't follow the steps, I don't give a fuck what you read. I don't care what you read. But it tells you to follow the steps. And many of you in this room are mama's boys. You're close to your mother. I'm not saying that's wrong, but you won't do it in this program. And I would be a lying, disingenuous old fuck if I told you. If you're a mama's boy, you better set your mama aside someplace. It's awful. It's better she's dead. Because you can't get to this. You just can't and be a mama's boy. A daughter's a daughter the rest of her life. A son's a son till he takes a wife. I remember my mother telling me that when I'm about 18 years old. But it's true. And this program doesn't take any prisoners. What do I have to say? We have double murderers that have accomplished this program. But it's not easy. Okay, next.
Thank you, sir.